Hello students, I am Dr. J.S. Martolia, lecturer in biology. Today's topic is incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance was discovered by Carl Lorenz. Carl Lorenz in 1903. Carl Lorenz is the same scientist who rediscovered Mendelism. So let us understand what is incomplete dominance. Let us take the example of Mirabilis jalapa. Mirabilis jalapa, which is also known as 4 o'clock plant. This plant has two varieties. One has red flower and another has white flower. Mirabilis jalapa. Mirabilis jalapa. This is also known as 4 o'clock plant. 4 o'clock plant. So Mirabilis jalapa, one variety has a red flower, another has white flower, genotype of red flower is capital R, genotype of white flower is small r. Now what happens is, when hybridization takes place between these two plants which are having red flowers and white flowers respectively, in the first generation genotype is capital R, small r. This is the genotype and all the flowers are pink. All the flowers are pink. Now you see that here flower is red and here is white. Nowhere in the generation this pink flower appears. But here in F1 generation and again in F2 generation, these pink flowers are found. To understand incomplete dominance, let me talk about law of dominance also. You might have studied law of dominance. Law of dominance. What happens in law of dominance? Capital T, capital C. This is dominant character, and this small t, small t. This is recessive one. When hybridization takes place in first generation, we have genotype capital T, small t, and all the plants are tall. This is tall. This is a dwarf. All flowers are tall. That is, dominant character appears in first generation. But here, red flower, this is not dominant. White flower, this is not recessive. You cannot say that this is dominant, this is recessive. Had this flower been dominant, in the first generation there would have been all the red flowers. So here we have pink flowers. So this is known as incomplete dominance. Red flower which has capital R alleles. These alleles which are responsible for forming anthocyanin pigments, these are not able to produce the required amount of anthocyanin, or you can say anthocyanin is diluted here. That is the reason this appears pink. Ultimately, this red flower or this capital R, it is not able to express itself completely. So this is incomplete dominance. This is known as incomplete dominance. Now let us see what happens in F2 generation in case of law of dominance. In F2 generation, you might have seen, in case of law of dominance, the ratio of phenotype, that is phenotypic ratio, tall and dwarf, the ratio is 3:1. That is, dominant character is 3, dominant or tall plants are 3, and dwarf one is 1. Dwarf plant is 1. That is, ratio is 3:1. But here what do we see? Okay, let us go ahead. Now when all the red flowers, these red flowers, when these are self-pollinated, when self-pollination takes place, now let us understand through this Punnett square. When gametogenesis takes place, gamete formation takes place, or these alleles are transferred to different gametes. So this R, here we have small r. In the same way, here capital R, here small r. Then you see, when this R comes with this, then it becomes RR. This will be red. When this R comes with this, it becomes RR. So this is again pink, not red. This is pink. And when this R comes with this, it becomes again pink. And when this small r comes with this small r, it becomes RR. The ratio in case of incomplete dominance in F2 generation, then you see the genotypic ratio is RR is to small r. Its ratio is 1:2:1, and the phenotypic ratio is red is to pink is to white, 1:2:1. So this is the deviation from law of dominance. Here you see genotypic ratio and phenotypic ratio, these are similar. Here 1:2:1, here also 1:2:1. So this is the deviation from Mendel's first law, that is law of dominance. In law of dominance, you saw that there is a ratio 3:1 in the first generation. Sorry, in F2 generation, second generation. In first generation, what did you see? In first generation, all the offsprings are dominant one, but here the case is different. So this is known as incomplete dominance, because these alleles are not able to express itself in a dominant way. So this is all about incomplete dominance. This is also known as semi-dominance or partial dominance. So thank you very much for watching this video. Watch my next video also. Thank you once again.